The console wars is back. The PS3 is in the lead with a big victory from the exclusive games round. And in the second to last round of the series, we're going to be looking at the future of the game consoles. What new peripherals and innovative content can you still expect from this generation, and which console has a brighter future? In this round, you'll soon find out. It's LP from TechnoBuffalo, and welcome to the next installment of the Console Wars. So, today we're looking into the future. I'm going to be talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet, so we're treading on some pretty tricky territory. And this may very well be the round that the future me looks back at and says, man, your predictions were fail. But in any case, I'll do my best to predict what's to come, and I'll let the future play itself out. To look into the future, we first have to take a look into the past. If we look at the product cycle of your average game console, we notice that the console manufacturers have launched a device about every 5 years. This generation has shown signs of the ball game changing entirely. There hasn't been even a hint of rumors of the next Xbox, and it's soon been 5 years since the launch of the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 and PS3 should be hitting their twilight years, but it seems they're far from it. And why is this, you ask? Well, there are several reasons that have contributed to this. Firstly, as games get more and more complex, the cost and time to make a single game have gone up. The guys at Remedy Entertainment over here in Finland have been making Alan Wake for the past 6 years. That's longer than the Xbox 360 has been on the market. Hardware architecture is exponentially more complex than in previous generations, and looking at the games on both the Xbox 360 and PS3, we can notice that developers have learned how to better tap into the power of the consoles the further we've come along in the product cycle. So production times have gone up, that's one. Another very important factor that has led to the lengthening of game console product cycles has been the fact that hardware has been less limiting than in previous generations. If you look at, let's say, the Nintendo 8-bit system, there's not an insane amount of stuff you can do with the hardware. 99% of the games are pretty much 2D side-scrollers. But these days, the most limiting factor this generation has become the skills and ingenuity of the developers. But the most important factor that has and will continue to extend this generation are the online services that have begun to evolve the platforms far beyond what the hardware can do. The services, the community, and overall experience have trumped the need for increasingly better graphics. And I consider this ultimately good for the consumers as well. There's no need to upgrade to a new console every 5 years, and there's no need to experience pretty lame launch titles as often. Because we all know that for the first few years the games on the consoles can be a bit rough around the edges. And the best games are usually released a bit later in the game. So the further we are along in the product cycle, the more quality content we can usually expect. And from the perspective of the developer, learning new hardware can be a pain, and releasing games for a new platform with a limited installed base can be frustrating, as game sales are only a fraction what they could and should be. For example, Metal Gear Solid 4. Excellent game, but it only sold okay because the PS3's installed base was limited back when the game launched. Now with the PS3's attach rates up, the game would have sold triple. Overall, a longer product cycle, I think, is beneficial to all parties. So I'd say don't expect the next generation of consoles from either Sony or Microsoft for at least 2 to 3 years. After the success of the Nintendo Wii, both Microsoft and Sony have been trying to create something of similar appeal. Last year at E3, Microsoft introduced its own motion sensing technology, codenamed Project Natal. Microsoft is describing it as controller-free gaming and entertainment experience. The technology is based on the Project Natal sensor, which combines depth sensing of an infrared projector combined with a monochrome CMOS sensor. To put it simply, the two sensors allow the Project Natal device to see in 3D. And the device is able of registering movement in 3D space. It also recognizes physical stationary elements such as furniture. So basically what Natal does is that it recognizes gestures. Natal is capable of simultaneously tracking up to 4 users, and it calculates up to 48 skeletal points on the human body. Not only does Natal have advanced gesture recognition, it also has facial recognition and voice recognition. But apparently Microsoft has plans to incorporate Natal into the new Xbox experience as well, which I think will have some definite practical appeal. Instead of tapping on your D-pad to get around, you can just wave your hand in the air to slide between pages. And if this feature works on Windows Media Center as well, I'm gonna be sold. And this is gonna be a feature that will appeal to the girlfriend or wife as well. A game controller can be a pretty intimidating piece of hardware, and if we take the controller out of the equation, you never know. There just might be a new wave of female gamers after the release of Natal. And this is definitely what Microsoft is going for. Sony, of course, has been working on its own motion sensing technology to compete with Natal, but Sony's gone with a more traditional controller approach. The PlayStation Move controller setup has a striking resemblance to the Wiimote and Nunchuck, with the exception of the colored light bulb on top of the wand. The Move controller uses the PlayStation Eye webcam to track the wand's position. The purpose of the orb on the controller is to function as an active marker which the PlayStation Eye picks up. The shape and exact size of the orb enables the controller's position to be tracked in 3D space with high precision. But that's not all, folks. Inside the wand are a pair of inertial sensors that track the rotation and overall motion. There's also an internal magnetometer which automatically calibrates the controller's orientation against the Earth's magnetic field. The Move controller also features vibration feedback, and the orb can also be used to provide some visual feedback, such as the muzzle flash of a gun. So basically, the PlayStation Move is a doped up Wiimote. By the looks of it, both companies have come up with some impressive hardware to compete against the Wii. But if we look at game sales on the Wii, we notice that the only games making serious cash on the Wii are first-party Nintendo titles. And you can criticize Wii and Nintendo all you want, but Nintendo knows how to make fun games that sell in the millions. And ultimately, the success of Natal and Move will depend on exactly that, the quality of games and how motion controls are implemented. Both Sony and Microsoft need that killer app to sell the system. It can be a simple game like Wii Sports, or something entirely new. And I'll go out to say this, if Sony were to make a deal with LucasArts to make a lightsaber game, they'd have a serious contender in their hands. But for now, the PlayStation Move basically seems like a Wii HD, and I'm not entirely sure that it's enough. But Natal, on the other hand, is something entirely new. It has a very simple control scheme that anyone can pick up. Or actually, not pick up. You get the point. But you know what type of game would be excellent for Natal? Drinking games. It's an untapped territory, and it would definitely appeal to the Xbox 360's current audience. Heck, I'd buy it. Overall, the technology behind Natal is extremely impressive. I'm sure Natal combined with Xbox Live will be the experience to beat. So I'm going to bet my money on Project Natal. But as a hardcore gamer, I'm pretty comfortable with game controllers, and I don't see motion controls replacing good old mechanical buttons anytime soon. Okay, moving on.
You can see right away that this is a Facebook experience that is custom made for your living room.
The Xbox 360 took the online features around, and Xbox Live has been the forerunner of online gaming services. The only weakness being the subscription fee, which can be a deal breaker for some. But what some may consider as a weakness, the subscription fee may very well be something that the Xbox 360 benefits from in this particular round. I'm quite sure that a significant chunk of the profits Microsoft makes from the subscriptions go into research and development of Xbox Live. And for this reason, the subscription fee may very well be the thing that keeps Xbox Live always one step ahead of the PlayStation Network. So you will be getting more features like Twitter, Facebook, and Last.fm on your Xbox 360. This is pretty much guaranteed. The core functionality of Xbox Live is superior compared to PSN. And because I pay a subscription fee, I expect the features and services of Xbox Live to get even better this generation. There have been some rumors of Microsoft working on a deal with media conglomerate News Corp to bring out an on-demand TV service for Xbox Live, meaning you soon may be able to watch your favorite shows whenever you want on Xbox Live for a small subscription fee. There are some very cool free services on PSN like VidZone, which is available in Europe, but the lack of any social media services like Twitter and Facebook are pretty much what are currently lacking in PSN. Sony has hinted on a Facebook application that will be coming to PS3 this year. But compared to what you already have on Xbox Live, the social media services on PS3 are already late. And that's pretty much my point. The PS3 will eventually have most of the same services you find on Xbox Live, but they're always going to be a step or two behind. And that also goes for exclusive content and DLC. If you're a Modern Warfare fan, you probably noticed that the stimulus package was released over a month earlier on Xbox 360. And for example, Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City was a timed exclusive on the Xbox 360. And here's where gaming and capitalism collide. Microsoft has the business prowess and cash to back up better exclusivity and downloadable content deals with the major distributors. So I would bet my money that DLC and exclusive content will continue to have first priority on Xbox Live. Distributors and developers all want to make money, and Microsoft has exactly that to offer. It's a massive profit deal, and Microsoft trumps Sony in game chips.
If you or someone you know suffers from apathy, there is hope. Download the new Modern Warfare 2 stimulus package on Xbox Live and start living again.
But there have been rumors going around that may change the ballgame entirely. Sony has hinted on a premium service coming to PSN, with some pretty interesting rumored features including unlimited access to older PlayStation classics and PS3 themes, an extended 3-year game console warranty, access to beta games that are yet not released, early access to DLC, a game sharing service where you can share a level of a game you purchased with a friend, cross-game voice chat, the possibility of 1-hour full game trials of all games. Also rumored to be included is a competitive mode, where you can win tokens that can be redeemed for PlayStation Network games and other content. Premium subscribers will also receive PSN Store discounts, a cloud storage space for games, automatic downloads, Facebook connectivity, an online TV service, and loyalty rewards, where for certain tasks, users can be rewarded with free PlayStation Network content. Last but not least, the PSN Premium service has priority access to customer service, and that's a rarity these days. Some of these rumors sound too good to be true, because the PSN Premium service is starting to sound better than Xbox Live. And when rumors sound too good to be true, they usually aren't. And unfortunately, to this date, nothing is confirmed, so this list of features might as well be a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So until these rumors are confirmed, I'll go on stating that Xbox Live will continue to offer a more functional and fully featured online experience compared to the PlayStation Network. 3D, it seems, is the new HD. Both the Xbox 360 and PS3 will have 3D support. Alongside with 3D games, the PS3 will eventually support 3D movies, which is excellent. But there's a massive caveat in 3D, and that is the installed base of 3D televisions. The number of 3D TVs in homes will not be large enough to support a significant push for 3D on either platform for at least 2 to 3 years. Sure, the cutting-edge consumers will have 3D TVs, but it's a small minority, and there's just too little money to be made for major game developers to start creating 3D experiences just yet. You will be getting some novelty 3D games on both platforms, and some games will eventually have added 3D support. But from what I've seen and heard, pushing a 3D signal is quite demanding on the hardware, and for example, Sony has had to downgrade the graphics of games to achieve 3D, and that's definitely something I do not want. I don't see 3D becoming a system seller on either platform this generation, but if 3D lives beyond its current novel appeal, we'll definitely see 3D on a mass scale when the next generation of game consoles hit the market. But that's a whole different story. But if you want to get most out of the 3D experience this generation, the PS3 is the device to get. Blu-ray 3Ds are hitting the market next year, and the PS3 has full support. The second to last round is coming to an end, and this has been one of the toughest rounds to decide, mainly because both platforms have a very bright future ahead. The game changer may very well be the rumored PSN Premium service, but to this day, the Premium service and its contents are just rumors. While the PS3 will offer the better 3D experience, the Xbox 360 will continue to offer a consistently better online experience that always seems to be a step ahead of the PlayStation Network. Motion controls was a hot topic of this round, and Project Natal offers something entirely new that in my opinion overshadows the PlayStation Move. And if Natal works as well as is claimed, it will appeal to a massive audience. So with a slight edge, the Xbox 360 takes round 11, and it ties up the matchup for the final round, where only one console can be the victor. Stay tuned for the exciting finale of the console wars. LP signing out.